Today we are going to deploy our portfolio that we created last time in Yii2, and we are going to deploy it in Linode, and we'll also point our domain name to that IP address for that machine that we created. First, we'll just log in into Linode and create the machine first. Now, after logging in, we will find all the virtual machines that we have created. Now I'll just create a new one. Just create a new Linode here. Just for trial purposes. I'm in Kenya, but now I'll just select any just for testing. We will be using Ubuntu server, and then here we'll select shared CPU. In this section, we can use the 1 GB RAM or the 2 GB RAM. I'll just select the 2 GB RAM. I think this is more stable, but you can also use the 5 GB, the 1 GB RAM. It is working perfectly as long as you are not using a lot of resources. Now in this section, I'll just select it. I'll just name it as portfolio Linode, and then down here in our security, I'll just type my password, and then in our SSH keys, if you have one, you can just add it here. Just simple, you give it a name and then you copy the public key that you have generated, paste it here, and then you add. But now I have one, so I don't like using password while logging into the terminal of the server, so I'll just click this, and then down here I think it's okay. Now we can just create the Linode. Now while it is provisioning, let's go and point our domain name to this IP address. Now let me copy the IP address, and then my provider for domain name is Namecheap, so I'll just log in Namecheap. I'll just log in. And then I'll go to my domain list here. So the domain name that we'll be using is fortunedevs.com. So just go to the manage, and then go to the advanced DNS. So here is where we'll be changing our IP address. Currently it is pointing to this IP address. Now I want it to point to our virtual machine that you have just created here. So the IP address is 66.288. Yeah, just copy it and then come and paste it in these sections. So the star represents all the subdomains, the @ represents the main domain, and then any domain that will be having the www. When you start with www, it will also be recognized. So before I just continue, I want to show you something. So if I ping this IP address, if I ping this domain name, just ping, you will see it is pointing to this server that has this IP address. Now I'll just save the changes. Now if we try again, I know it won't reflect immediately. Just give it a few minutes for it to propagate. Now if you go back to our Linode, we can see it is running already. So the first thing that we'll do, we'll just SSH into the server. So copy, and then go back to our terminal. Let me open a new terminal here. I'll just paste the command, SSH command, and then press enter. So since I already configured my SSH during the installation, I'll not be asked for the password. So the first command that we'll do will update and then upgrade the system. So it is sudo apt update. While it is updating, yeah, it will just finish fast. So the next command is sudo apt upgrade. After now it has finished installing, we will need to install Docker and Docker Compose. So I have the commands ready here for the installation, so don't worry, I'll share the code in the description. Now the command is here. Now we will start with installing the Docker, which is sudo apt install docker.io. Copy that, then paste it in the terminal for the server terminal, and then press enter. It will just take some time and finish installing, so let's just wait for it while it's finishing. Then the next command let's just see in our notes here. The next command will be this one, where we will just be getting all the latest Docker repository in our virtual machine. So just paste all the command here. The next thing is running the installation. Installing the Docker Compose, we just copy this command here and then paste it in the terminal, and then just press enter. So just forgot something. We want to upgrade get update. So after that, just press update first. Then we just run the Docker Compose plugin install. Now it will install Docker Compose and all its requirements. So we have finished installing. Now then, let's just confirm if it is installed. We can just run this command here, Docker Compose version. Just paste it in the terminal and then press enter. You can see you can see that we are getting the version. So the next thing that we'll do, we'll create the network shared as it is in our code here. We were using network shared, and creating the network is docker network create, and the name is shared. Now the network has been created, so we are good to proceed. So the next thing we will need to do is install Portainer. We need to install Portainer for managing the Docker containers. So just go to the official site of Portainer, just type install Portainer, and then the first link is install Portainer C with Docker on Linux. Just click that, and then down here we have the installation guide. So just copy this first command, paste it in the terminal. The next one, just copy. This one is the one responsible for the installation of the Portainer. Just copy it and then paste it in the terminal. Now it is pulling the image for the Portainer, and then it will just finish in a few minutes. Now it has finished. Accessing the Portainer, we just go to that IP address that our server is running. Just copy it, open a new tab, paste it, and then Portainer is running on port 9443. You can see actually you need to type https, and then press enter. Yeah, we will get this error since we are not using SSL certificate. Now you can see we are going to that page. So in the first page, you'll just be asked to create your username, password, and password. So our password, let's just type it and then repeat it and then create. Now we have just logged in our Portainer. I'll just save that. So click on the first one, which has the Docker logo. Click it and then it will open. Now if we click, this is the local Docker environment. We just click it and then we can see all the containers that have been installed. Currently it's only Portainer. So the next thing we need to install is Nginx Proxy Manager. So installing Nginx Proxy Manager, we'll just use this Portainer. I'll go to the template and then create a custom template and then add template. I'll name it Nginx Proxy Manager. Just copy that, paste it here. Now in the command section, I'll just use the one that I created. I'll share the code in the description, so don't worry. So Nginx Proxy Manager, Docker Compose file, copy this code, and then you need to paste in this text editor. It will be running in port 81, so just create the custom template. After it has been created, just click it. Now give the name of the stack. It will be Nginx Proxy Manager, and then deploy the stack. This one will take some time to deploy since it is pulling the image first and then create the container. Let's just wait. Now it has finished installing. Now we can go and see the container if it has been created. Now here we have the container running. So to confirm if it is running, we just go to that IP address. It was, I always forget it. Now copy it, paste, and then go to port 81 to see if we have the Nginx. Now we can see it here. So the next thing we need to do, the initial login credentials are admin at example.com, and the password is change me, and then login. So after logging in, you'll be required to change your password and the email. So I'll just write mine and then save. And the password, the current password is change, and then the second I'll just write mine and then save. Now we have our proxy manager ready. So going to the host, I'll need to map our Portainer and Nginx here. So add the proxy host. So before adding first, let's confirm if our domain name is pointing to this IP address. So I'll just go back here and then try to ping Fortune Devs. You can see now it is pointing to 66. You can see now it is pointing to 66. This is our current IP address for the virtual machine. Now we just need to add a proxy host, domain name Portainer. So portainer.fortunedevs.com, and then it is HTTPS. Then here we put the name of the container. So here the name is, let's see the containers. Let's see, it is Portainer. Just copy that and then paste it here. And then the port is 99443. And then we need to assign it as a SSL certificate. So when using Nginx Proxy Manager, you will be given a free proxy and it will be updated after it has expired, so don't worry about that. Now we just save and wait for it to configure everything. Now we have that set, so we need to add another one for Nginx Proxy Manager. So the domain name, I'll just name it proxy.fortunedevs.com, and then the name, we need to copy the name of the proxy manager, which is this one. Just copy it and then paste it here, and the port is 81. Give it an SSL certificate, request a new one first, and then agree, then save. Now it has finished. So if you can see in our Portainer, we can in our custom templates in our proxy manager, if you look at Nginx, if we edit, we specify the network. That's why it's working. We have the network named shared. So our Portainer has a problem. In our container for the Portainer, we have a problem here. It is only running on network bridge. So if we try going to that IP address, let's just go here. Our proxy.fortune is working well. We can see the URL is working well. But now if we go to the Portainer, if we try to go to that IP address, we can see we are getting a bad gateway error. So what we need to do is go here and make this container be in the shared network, and then click join. We can now try to go to that IP address. You can see now it is working. Yeah, it is going to that IP address and going to the Portainer container that we created. If you see it not working, you just delete the proxy host, delete it, and then you create it again. So here just type portainer.fortune.com, and then here it is HTTPS, then Portainer, and then here it is port 9443, and then here in the SSL, you had your SSL already, so just force and then save. Now you can see our Portainer running again, so everything is just working fine. Yeah, just log in with the username, then log in. So we have everything ready here. Now we need to work on our application that we are to deploy. Having our application here, the first thing we need to do is to add the GitHub action. I have a project here. Let me just copy the format I just show you. So inside let me go to one of the projects that I created. You need to have this directory called github.github. So here I'll just need to create a new directory, just new folder, and then .github. And then inside here you'll just need to have a directory named workflow. And then inside the workflows, you need to create a new file. Just name it anything that you want. I'll call it deploy.yml, and then press enter. So let me just confirm if it is workflows. Yeah, it is workflows. So after creating this file, we need to add our GitHub action code for creating the pipeline to access the server. So I have that code created ready. I'll share it. So I'll just copy all of it and then paste it here. Now I'll just rename this from school management, and then I'll just name it the same way our GitHub repository is named. We haven't created the GitHub repository yet, so I'll just name it as portfolio tutorial. So it will SSH into the into the server, we'll just specify the server address here. So let's copy the server address. Is this one, just copy it and then go and paste it here. Paste it, so it will go to the server, to this directory, and create that folder, and then it will clone the GitHub repository. So here it will be your username, and then here it will be the name of the repository. Ours will create it as portfolio.tutorial, and then everything will be just fine. So don't worry about the rest. So here, instead of Linode, okay, it is just okay. So here, I think everything is ready. So SSH into Linode VPS. So we need to create our repository in the GitHub. So let's go to GitHub, create the new repository. We will name it as portfolio-tutorial, and then let's leave it as public, and then we just create this. We'll just create the repository. So copy this command here, and then open your terminal in your VS Code, and then paste it, press enter. So we'll have everything ready to be pushed to our GitHub. So just go here and then press the commit. If you want, you can write the commit message, but I'll just uncomment one of these, and then sync. It will take some time to push all the code to GitHub, and then having that ready, we have finished pushing. So go into your GitHub and then refresh. You'll see all the code has been pushed here. Now it will try to go to our server, but I know it won't work. It is trying to deploy, since our GitHub action is showing that on push the deploy should just be automatic. So we have some errors here. Yeah. So what we need to do first, we need to put our private key that we are using to SSH into the server. We'll just copy that one and paste it inside the GitHub repository settings here. In that portfolio tutorial, go to the settings, and then you go down here to the secrets. In the actions, here we'll add our private key. So the name will be just the same one we used here. So it is SSH private key. Copy it and then paste it here. Now my secret key I won't show you. I'll just copy it I'll just copy it and paste. Now after adding it, you can see it is here. So everything is just ready on that side. So if we just look in this file, it is after getting into the server, it will now clone. Now it needs access to our GitHub account. So we need to create an SSH key in the server. So I'll just log in to the server. I think it has logged out, so just log in. Then we have the command for SSH for generating the SSH. So we have this code here for creating the SSH key. So we'll just go to our server terminal here, and then we'll just start with the generating the SSH key. So we'll copy this and then paste it in the terminal, paste it, and then just press enter, and then that is created. So the next thing we need to do is copy this one, this next line, and then this one is responsible for registering the SSH key. Just use this one. Copy. Let me paste it here. We'll just use that. So let's copy this. then paste it here, then press enter. Now you can get the agent pin ID identity added, so we have everything ready. So after adding this here, we need to add the public key in our GitHub. So in our GitHub, we go to our settings, go to your icon on the top, right top, go to the settings, and then go to the SSH and GPG. So we'll need to add our SSH key here. Now we create a new SSH key, then the title will be, let's just name it as portfolio public key, SSH key. I think that is enough. So to get the public key, we just go here and then let's list everything. So our public key is this one. So just copy and then nano, then paste the name. So our SSH key is this one. So if I zoom out, you can see here we have our public key. Copy it, then paste it in our GitHub. Then add the SSH key. Now to confirm if this SSH key is working, if we can SSH into this GitHub account, we just type this command in our terminal and see. We can see everything is working fine. Now we can just try deploying the server, the code again. So let me just redeploy it. So just go back. In our action, we'll just go here and then redeploy it again, rerun the job. Let's see what is happening. We can see we are cloning everything here. Now it is SSHing and downloading the Docker image. Yeah. Now we have finished deploying the application. So in our code, we specify it to run on port 230 here. So let's try to access that port. So copy the IP address, paste it, and then port is 230. Now we are getting this error. I know you'll also face it. So we have a problem. In our code, in our application, we have this git ignore. It is not uploading everything that we are having in our local machine. So we need to just uncomment. We just need to comment everything here. So select all and then control / to comment everything. So we need to deploy it again. So just commit. And then just uncomment one line. Then sync all the changes. Now if you go back in our GitHub, we can see a new action, a new job will be running. Just refresh. A new job should be running in our portfolio. Yeah, we have it here. Now let's just see what's going on inside it. It is SSHing. Now finished deploying the application, so let's refresh this page and see what's being displayed. Now we are getting an internal server error occurred, which is just fine. Let me just enable the debugging so that you can see the errors that were being displayed. So it will be dev and then redeploy the application again. So just commit sync the changes, and then let's see in our GitHub if the job is running. It will just deploy fast. That is the advantage of using GitHub Action and a server direct. It will just deploy everything in just a matter of minutes. Now it has finished deploying, so let's refresh here and see the actual errors. Now we are getting this error for permission denied, so let's go to our server and give all the permissions. So it has timed out, so let me try logging in again. So this, let me just go to that command. It will be SSH. So giving permission, just write sudo chmod, then dash capital R, then the path of the directory where our project is running. So it is var www html. So let's give all the permissions for this folder. If we do this, it will give all the permissions to all the subfolders that are inside the HTML directory. So just press enter and everything will be fine. So let's try refreshing the page. Going to get another error. So our next error is that we don't have the database MariaDB. So we need to have that container inside here. If we look inside our containers, we don't have MariaDB. So we need to go to the terminal. We'll create a file, name it dockercompose.yml. So we'll just type nano docker compose.yml, then press enter, and then we'll just get the code here. Let me just copy this one. This is the Docker Compose file that will be responsible for creating the PHPMyAdmin and the MariaDB. So our root user password is root, and then PHPMyAdmin will be requiring the MariaDB. So they are all in the same network named shared. So let's just Control X, Y, then press enter. We have saved everything. So running this, we'll just type docker compose app build, then -d. Now it will pull everything, and then you can see everything is being pulled, and then it will be installed. Let's just wait. Now we have finished. So if we go in our Portainer, we can see we have the MariaDB and PHPMyAdmin. PHPMyAdmin is mapped to port 85. So let's try going to that port, which is, let me just copy this and then go to that port, and then it will be port 85. Yeah, it is logged. So our username is root, and then password is root. After logging in, the next thing we need to do in our application, if we can just see inside the DB, configuration, we have our username as root, as admin, and password as admin. So we need to just create that user. So we got this user accounts, add a new user, username is admin, password is admin, and then repeat it. Then we give him give that user all the permissions, and then you create. So after that, we need to create our database here. So the database name was portfolio tutorial. Portfolio tutorial. Just create it. Yeah, we have this part complete. Let's see what is the next error we'll get. Just refresh. Now we can see we don't have these tables created. Now we are almost finishing. So just go to our local database. So localhost port 85, and then the name of the database was portfolio tutorial, and then just export everything. Just export, and then we'll just export it to desktop, save it, and then let's go to our database in the cloud. So actually accessing the PHPMyAdmin will be much easier. Just add it here. It will be admin.portfolio.fortunedevs.com, and then it will be PHPMyAdmin. That is how we name the container. Then map it to port 80. Then give it an SSL certificate, request a new one, false, agree, save. Now that is sorted, let's try accessing that link. Here we have our PHPMyAdmin. So just type the username was admin, then admin, then just login. So here we have the database created, but we don't have the table, so just import, and then choose file. We saved it in the desktop. It was named portfolio tutorials. Just click it and then import. So portfolio tutorial, we have everything here. So if we go to our Fortune Devs, is it Fortune Devs or not? So we haven't given our application a domain name. So in our Portainer, we just need to give it a domain name. So copy the name of the container, and then inside our Nginx Proxy Manager, we add a new proxy. Then domain name, we'll just use the default, the root domain name. So it will be fortunedevs.com. Then we paste the name of the container, then map it to port 80. Then give it an SSL certificate, request a new one, false, and then agree, then save. Now we have it ready. Let's click the link and see if we are being redirected to that site. Now we can see everything has been loaded. Yeah, we can navigate through the site. Yeah, everything is just working fine. Yeah, so if we try going to our admin dashboard, we named it as admin, we can just go there easily. And then we have these sections. It has all the data that we pasted last time. So thank you for your time, and see you next time.